Hello YouTube and internet viewers all over the world, and welcome to the latest video from me, the Retro Bear, here on my YouTube channel. If you are a first time viewer, welcome aboard, thanks for tuning in. Tend to specialise in doing pickup videos, do the odd gameplay video, and also go through my collection. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, hello, nice to see you once again. And as you can see, we're doing a different angle again this week. I should apologise first of all for the glare on my forehead. That's because the light in this room is right above where I'm sitting. I probably should have worn some sort of hat. I did try wearing a hat a few videos ago, which got generally favourable reviews, but I haven't got one that's going to block that off. And as I get older, that's going to sort of disappear slowly and generally be glaring you from start to finish. Therefore, some sort of makeup is required on top of that. I don't know. Yes, and you've noticed I've had a shave and a haircut since the last video, rather than looking like some sort of hobo. Now generally looking untidy. I don't know. Yes, so welcome to what can only be described as the latest video in I buy other people's stuff for money that they don't want anymore. And it's another pickups video for this past weekend, which would have been Saturday the 12th of January. And it was a pretty quiet week really, but also not a bad week. This week I actually, you remember the last video, I had an amazing look with a copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which I found in the charity shop for £1. I managed to swap that in and someone else to get nearly £40 worth of store credit from CEX. One for the good guys. This time I was benefited by a £20 note, which I appear to have mislaid or not picked up, left to me by one of my relatives at Christmas. Bear in mind that was nearly a month ago. And I did know it was there, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. My dad did inform me that my aunt had left a present for me and my other half for Christmas, which I neglected to pick up until this past weekend. I think it was Friday the 11th I actually picked it up. And surprise, surprise, there was a £20 note in there, which was fantastic, which I have therefore, shall we say, invested. You may use it as a word of sort of wasted. I have got no idea. Let's decide at the end of the video whether you think the pickups here have been particularly worth the money that's been spent. So a little more than I spend than usual. That is the case of the last video as well, but I did get a huge financial benefit of doing that, and a lot of that stuff was basically with gifted money and money I managed to pick up from aforementioned second-hand retailer on the high street. Yeah, so a bit of a mixed bag this week, but as always, something for everybody. You'll also notice we've had a change of angle, and that is mainly because I was getting a bit tired standing up. That implies me to be a lazy so-and-so, but yes. No, this angle has been suggested, and not quite the one I was going to go for originally. I was sort of aiming for that side of the room, sort of back across here, but then I sort of realised there's an awful lot of what can only be cited as crap on the floor. And if I did produce a video like that, people would sort of imply I'm living in some sort of hovel. It's my own fault, it's all my stuff on the floor. It's stuff I can't put away because I don't know where to put it. That is the other argument at the moment. I may or may possibly not have to move into the loft at some point. And also the games as well, on a completely unrelated matter at the same time. So, what do we get this week? Well, you may or may not be aware that Game at the moment are having a 50% off all last gen games, which will cover the PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, Wii U, DS and 3DS, and it's 50% off the marked price in the shop. Now bearing in mind Game usually like to try and go for the expensive end of the market, i.e. more expensive than anywhere else. And so therefore their 50% sale is, yeah, it sort of undercuts, generally speaking. I've probably saved enough to sort of make it worthwhile, but not massive savings, has to be said. But I think certainly on some of the stuff, £5-6 a title, which I could have paid elsewhere for it, so not too bad. And like I said, with the benefit of having an extra £20 note, I've gone all posh all of a sudden. Let's move back to £20 note. It's sort of offset some of that cost anyway. So if you look at the previous videos, you'll know how cheap I tend to buy stuff for, so you'll be quite surprised by some of these prices. And like me, I hope you're sitting down because you won't quite believe it. So let's start off, shall we, with some original Xbox stuff, because we have now, as you would probably see from the collection stats which appear throughout the videos, and if you aren't seen yet. They don't sort of usually appear until about 10-15 minutes in. Quite a few now original Xbox titles, over 200, which I'm quite astounded by. How quickly it has been done to achieve that target. Now, where I started from, probably about 15 months ago, I had maybe about 30 or 40 of them. And some of those weren't, shall we say, official versions. They were, because I've got a chipped Xbox, I chipped the Xbox when I first had it back in 2000 and fast asleep. So to accumulate that many titles has been great, but most of them are the cheap ones. I did actually get some when I first started collecting some of the more sought after titles. One of these days I shall run through it. If I've got 10 hours to spare, I can show you every single one. So first one up this week is, and you can see that, Dead to Rights. I'll show you the inside of that like we always do. Got the manual and everything. Nice back cover. I was more attracted to this game because it's got Namco on the front, and you know, I associate Namco with things like Time Crisis. So this is one bad good cop, one very bad situation, and some rather sort of towards the bottom there you can sort of see there's some sort of pole dancer going on. So I have no idea if it's any good, but it has supercharged Hong Kong style action and 15 action-packed chapters set in the dark, crime-ridden city. It's like most games, really. But unlike sort of like Time Crisis, it's done from a completely different angle. So that was £1.50, and we'll have to see if it's any good or not. I have no idea. Otherwise, I would be dead to rights buying that. Next up is Headhunter Redemption, which I've already got on the PS2. As you can see, manual and etc. are complete. That one actually was from CEX. I forgot to mention CEX. This was also from CEX, and this was 50p. And also, again, you can see on the front here, again, this is developed by Sega. So things I'm sort of attracted to, and it says on here, even more action-packed than the first Games Master magazine. I never played the first one, so I don't know what the redemption part of it is. And also, missed this and you really need your head checked by Xbox Gamer magazine. I've always firmly believed that you need to get your head checked, especially if you're buying all these games like I am. It's a strange old hobby, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. So just the two this week on the Xbox. Now, those of you who've sort of seen my Wii collection over here, which has grown and up there and sort of down here behind my shoulder, which I'll just try and drop out the way. Yeah, you can see it all. There's 500 and something other, again, collection stats up there. Sort of slowed down a little bit. That's because I've tended to pick up most of the cheap ones now. I'm sort of going through a stock list. And a lot of the ones that are sort of very low value, I'm either not coming across or there aren't many left of them. Which is good in a way, worrying in another sense, and sort of like the debate at the moment is whether or not I sort of start focusing more on Wii and keep going for those. But obviously I'm absolutely petrified at some of the prices of some of the top titles like The Last Story and what's that one with the shadows, A Shadow's Tale, some of those 40-50 quid, which are, you know, what's that one, Fire Emblem Radiant something or other. That I always see knocking around again, 40 odd quid. Metroid Prime Collection, that's always trilogy, that goes at about 35-40 quid usually. Way out of my range. I mean, I was buy that and that'd be it, nothing. It'd be a very short video, and you might get some of your life back. So, yes, I'm going to sort of rethink that a bit, because it sort of stalled a bit. We were going very, very well, and all of a sudden it sort of stalled. So, next up, more fodder. It is fodder this week, I'm afraid, but it is Wii games. Kids Sports International Football, made by my old friends, no manual, Data Design Interactive. One of these days, I know where that office used to be, and it's I walked past it the other day. Again, I must actually walk past there and do an outside video shoot just about where it used to be, because they are responsible for some absolutely awful games. Yeah, that was 50p. It's not meant to be very good. I've already got one of the kids' sports games. I think is the ice hockey one. I think there's possibly a basketball one knocking around as well. But yeah, 50p. I shall play it once and probably never play it ever again. Oh yeah, and this one as well. Imagine Championship Rider. Can you imagine a Championship Rider? Would she look anything like that? Probably not, because if she falls off, she's going to do herself an injury, isn't she? Possibly with a sticker over her face. Thank you, whoever. This is that's been traded into game at some point, hasn't it? I got it from CX, and there's the back cover there. 75p this was. It was also known as Alexander Lederman La Colline au Cheval Sauvages, which possibly translates to Alexandra Lederman and the Tale of the Savage Horses, and also something in German which is Abenteuer auf dem Ritterhof die Schwarze Wilde. Oh, I can't read Wilderford. I can't read that. I must go to the opticians. In any other language, it's a game about horses. I've got quite a few of these horse games, I must be honest with you. And it's these sort of things which will just disappear and everyone will forget about them. And then, you know, one day, possibly, you can always insert the possibly maybe about this, that it might be worth as much as £2. I have no idea. But I've got me and my horse and me, I think. And my horse and me too. There is one called Pony Friend, which I was going to get. I saw in a Cash Converters a few months ago, but it, again, I've reported on the video. Can't remember which one, and the disc actually looked as if Pony and Friends had been sort of kicking it around the stables because it was in such a shocking state that the guy refused to sell it to me. That's how bad it was. You have to ask the question: why did they buy it in the first place? I don't know. So just the 2 on the Wii this week. So pretty miserable total on that one, and a couple of miserable games. Yeah, it's been a bit of a miserable week, but let's have a look at some more stuff. We now move into PlayStation 2, which you can't see this week. We haven't seen for a few weeks. He usually sort of sits to that side of me, and there's a big wall of them there. Other people have seen them. There are other videos with the stuff in the background. You where to see that, but yeah, approaching some, nearly getting close on the 500 of those now. So we have Freestyle Metal X, which I think is some sort of motorbike game. Not like racing motorbikes, sort of stunt motorbikes. Again, no manual. That's what you get for paying 50p for your games, folks. If you want to be a bit more, what's the word? Selective, that's it. Selective about what you want to buy. You'll buy stuff with manuals in it. Me, I ain't really bothered about that. As long as it's got the disc in there, the disc is in good nick. Great, if it's got the manual in there, it's a bit of a bonus. And there's one a bit later on which I'll show you where I've got even more bonus material than I ever anticipated. Next up, Jet Ski Riders. Now we are mining the quality titles this week with a manual, and again this was 50p. Yeah, it's about jet ski riding. I dare say it's not quite in the same breadth of Wave Race. In fact, they probably aren't even close to being that, but it does have the word Kawasaki on the bottom. I always associate it with motorbikes, but yeah. Experience yourself the thrill of fast, furious, competitive jet ski racing. And all the usual stuff that comes with jet ski racing. Soundtrack from Moving Shadow. Does that mean anything to anybody? I've never even heard of Moving Shadow. Then again, music for the past sort of 20 years has sort of bypassed me. Moving swiftly on. Oh, here's it. I've walked past this many, many times. I'm thinking, why on earth would this be a game that anybody will want to play, which is called Extreme Express? Although it does sort of say Extreme Express World Grand Prix down there. It's actually a train game. A game about trains and racing trains. Racing trains across 10 varied landscapes. God, 80 trains to unlock, each with their own abilities and some crazy styling. Wow. Goodness me, 10 courses to race over, an exciting trial mode. Stop runaway trains, barge enemies off the track, or struggle to finish with faulty instruments. It sounds fun, doesn't it? It's also got, we always show you the world's thinnest manual, which I've seen McDonald's menus with more variety pages than that. And again, 50p, all three of those 50p added to the collection. There we go. On to the next one, Xbox 360. Now, a few of these. Now, some of these, I think that actually completes the. That does actually complete this week's CEX run. I only went to CEX and Game this week, so I didn't have a chance to get out and do charity shops. I thought I'll give them a break this week after having a bit of success last week. Probably the wrong thing to do because you have to strike while the iron is hot. And I've had a couple of good weeks at the charity shops, but I thought I'll give them a break this week. because they'll probably say, oh no, not him again, and hide all the good stuff. As if they do that. So this week, the rest of the stuff is coming from Game, which is very unusual. Now, as we said, Game was doing the half-price sale, so marked prices and then 50% off. Although, as we will go through, not entirely true. First up, Alien 360. Fairy Tale Fights, purely bought on the basis of the cover alone. And I'll read you something off the back. I was watching a video the other day, somebody posted a few years ago about this, and I just like the idea of violent fairy tales. Well, it's not quite... Well, it is, but it's not quite... Fairy Tale Fights is a bloodthirsty hack-and-slash platform adventure featuring an array of your favourite fairy tale characters, including... Now, you can probably tell at some point where they start running out of fairy tale characters or rights issues, including Red Riding Hood, Snow White, the Naked Emperor, which I think will be a nod to the Emperor's new clothes, and finally, Jack of Beanstalk fame. So, yeah, you can sort of tell they're sort of gradually running out. It's an incredibly violent game. You can just have a look at that there. I mean, I like the idea of the fact it's fairy tales and it's going to be, you know, sort of lots of blood in it, but it is incredibly violent. There are a couple of methods you can sort of do multiplayer co-ops and dynamic slicing. I'm just reading off the back of the box here. Volumetric liquid, spill over 10,000 gallons of blood and slide through multiple blood pools. I mean, what more could you have asked for in good old-fashioned family entertainment, providing you're over the age of 16? Yeah, so that was $2.99 priced up, but that was in $1.49 in the sale. I think at $1.50 it's worth a punt, isn't it? I mean, it's $1.50, you know, it's £10. I'd have been sort of breaking that in cold sweats. Old favourite here, remastered, or one of the remasters, Tomb Raider, which is the game exclusive Explorer pack. And there's the inside, and I'll also show you, my fingers work, it's got all the bits and pieces inside. It's got the sort of extra bits and pieces in here, and stuff there, and things there. I always like to see those in there. It means that somebody's actually looked after it. This is I'd struggle to find out which year this came out in. This is the 2013 remake. So there has been one recently called Rise of the Tomb Raider. See, I do know what goes in the modern game world. It's not just stuff that was made sort of like 10 years ago and sort of around there. That was, I think, again, marked up at $2.99. That got for $1.49. Again, worth a show. Not been my favourite style of game, I must be honest with you. I've never been a real big fan of the Tomb Raider games. Played the first one and played odd bits of ones since then. Got quite a few of the Tomb Raider games, various incarnations, flying about the place, as you do. A few odd games lying here and there, you may have noticed. So definitely want to have a go at. And this one I was quite pleased to get because I've actually sort of been numbing and knowing about this one for quite some time. It's Alan Wake. Now I have I watched a video the other day, I think it was the Opinionated Gamers, and the guy there's picked up the special edition, which comes with sort of like a giant sort of bookcase, or giant sort of tomb thing with a box inside, and it was really, really nice. But I've never seen it. I've only seen it once before, and it wasn't as nice as the one he put on his video. I think CX was asking for $10 for it. I think they might have dropped the price down a couple of quid since then, but I've not seen it again since. It was a pretty battered one. It wasn't as nice as that one there, but this is a game I've always wanted to play. It's a psychological part action game, part psychological thriller. I've heard a lot about it. I just haven't actually had the opportunity to play it. So also interesting to know as well, you can play it on the Xbox One. Now, sort of going on about, oh, it does say psychological action thriller at the top there. There we go. When I saw this originally, it was marked up at $2.99, and there was a great big sticker which said now $1.49. So I had to interrogate the gentleman at Game and sort of saying, is this now? Have you applied your 50% discount, or is there 50% off the $1.49? See, desperately trying to save 75 pence on the game. But that means I can buy another one, you see. And he turned out, no, the discount had been applied. He ran it through until it was coming at $1.49. $1.49, I'm not going to argue with that. Nice little pick up there. So that's this week's 360, which I think takes me pretty close to a bloody 100 now. Which is even more worrying because there's no place to put them. You can just sort of see. Hang on, I can never get this right. No, oh God, yeah. This shoulder here, yeah, some 360 stuff down there. Oh dear. Yeah, anyway, so I'm running out of shelf space there, so I'm not sure. I might get those on the shelf without having to move anything. Just to see. PS3 now, and a game I've always sort of been interested in picking up, which is Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood. It could be Juarez, it could be Juarez. I have absolutely no idea. I don't buy games for pronunciation reasons. Nice looking game, nice looking box well looked after. Again, I don't think it gets particularly good reception, but there wasn't an awful lot of PS3 stuff, I must be honest with you, that I wanted. So that rang up at $149 and it was then 50% off, so 75p. So you can't argue with 75p for that, even if it is a load of rubbish. And then I got this one because I hadn't got it. I was surprised. Rock Band 2. I've got the first one, but I haven't got the third one. I've got all three on the Wii, but I bought the first one purely on the basis I was able to play Rolling Stones, Gimme Shelter, and I think possibly Fleetwood Mac's You Can Go Your Own Way. So I just tended to... Oh, no, that one's on here, sorry. No, just the Rolling Stones one on that one. So I probably bought this one on the basis I can play Go Your Own Way. But I think I played that on one of the other Guitar Hero games. There is an awful lot of crossover on these titles, aren't there? I don't even know if you're... You know, someone who's played all the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, you'll notice there's a lot of crossover on some of the songs. I mean, some of the songs, just pick out a couple here that I know. AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. The Allman Brothers, Ramblin' Man. Blondie, One Way or Another, Bob Dylan, Tangled Up in Blue, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, Guns, oh no, that's one I don't recognise. Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away. I'm running out of things to talk about. And the Who, Pinball Wizard. So, used to buy them for the songs alone. I've played this already on the Wii, so I know what's on there. But yeah, I hadn't got this one on PS3. Again, that one that was $3.99. That one, so that rang through at £2. But I don't mind paying £2 for that one because it's been horrendously overpriced for many years, and it just seems to have dropped in value now, which is good. So, if you remember the last video and the last few games I got for you this week, I purchased myself a Wii U, which I've been very pleased with. I've still got all these I picked up last week. So that's my little collection started there, and I've added a few more to it this week, again from Game in the 50% sale. And it was really the whole purpose of going to Game was to go and try and get some decent titles, because knowing what they'd have priced them at, I'd have got them half price. And I was looking for things like Mario World 3D, Yoshi's Woolly World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and they had none of those. The only interesting one I nearly picked was Mario Kart 8, but I've already got that on the Switch, and I thought, well, that's a bit of a waste, but I can pick up something else on there. I was just looking for the Lego games, but I couldn't find many of the ones I wanted, so I've come back with 4 games which I'm pleased with, but they wouldn't have been my first choice, but it was probably too good an opportunity to pass up and not get those. So, for the Wii U, was a bit Hyrule Warriors, which is a mixture of 2 of the games that I don't really particularly enjoy playing, Legend of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. It's meant to be a mix of both, but somebody very kindly who had this copy previously has left in the quicker guide, which is always very useful because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And it gives you an option of playing on the Wii U gamepad. Oh, and a nice little, didn't realise it opened out. There we go, quite nice there. Instructions there, and you can also play it with the Wii remote and nunchuck as well. That was on at $9.99, half price, so $4.99. It does regularly appear in most people's sort of top 20, 25s. Is it my sort of game? I don't know. I'll have to give it a go. But it just, you know, a new crossover comes to the Wii U, combining the timeless appeal of The Legend of Zelda with the relentless action of the Dynasty Warrior series. 2 games that I've never really got into at all, but there we go. Next up, I mentioned Lego. I did manage to get one Lego game, which is Lego City Undercover, which I do like the Lego games. I played Lego Star Wars when it first came out years and years ago. As you can see, debate going on at the moment is whether or not you get manuals with Wii U games. Possibly you do, possibly you don't. This one there was, but most of them don't appear to have them. I don't think they did. I think they sort of came on the old digital downloads, and lots of these the Club Nintendo unscratched pin number things. I've got so many of these now I could set up multiple identifications. I'm not going to. I don't want Nintendo having my information, thank you very much. So that again, $9.99 rang through at $4.99. It's good, but it's got horrendous loading times. Oh, they are. You're waiting forever for some bits and pieces. Like, it really is awful. It does detract from the game experience. They did remaster it if you are interested for the current generation. It's good fun, but on the Wii U, horrendous times. Loading times are horrendous. In this day and age, it shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't have to sit there and wait for something low. This is not the days of cassette games, is it? Indeed, sort of floppy disk games. It should be quick and straightforward. You can see why now that when you buy a new game, it downloads and takes forever. But then it saves you having to sort of wait for the bloody thing to load in next time. Next up, Mighty Number 9, which is a game I know nothing about. I know more about it now. This was, again, if you're not aware of the situation with this game, this was a Kickstarter project. Which I didn't. I read about this afterwards. I always buy stuff and then read about it afterwards and see how bad it actually is. Which didn't get particularly great reviews, and there was all sorts of developmental issues and sort of things which didn't work with it properly. And the Wii U was probably meant to be the worst version of the lot. But it does say on the front here, which you probably won't be able to read there, but it does say it includes the Ray expansion, art book and poster. Which I'm very pleased to say is in here. And I'm going to show you. Because you're lucky, lucky people. Oh, anyway, that's fingers again. I've got to stop biting my nails. The more I bite my nails, the less I can get into these things and get them out without making things. So there's Wii U software quick guide, which means you can actually download the manual online, top of the page there. So again, no manual for that one. This is the exclusive Ray thing they were talking about on the front there. And as you can see, it's got the old download code. Or code access or whatever it is, and there's a lovely art book with it. This is the art of Mighty Number 9, and I'll just show you some sort of shots there of some of the actual artwork. It's a nice little thing to have, and especially if it says it's on the front and it's actually in there, whoever's traded it in has kept it all in one piece. Just give you an idea of the art. So very Mega Man. I think that was the idea in the first place. Everyone expected to be sort of like Mega Man the next generation, and it just never quite lived up to the responsibility. And you might see this. I hope you can see it anyway. And there's the poster which came with it as well. So it's a nice size. And turn it round sideways. Just cover the face up there, which will benefit. I don't know, improvement maybe. Nice little thing to find inside. Now, this one rang through at $4.99 and actually was $4.99 because there was two copies on the shelf. This one and another one. This one hadn't got a price on it, but I thought, well, the other one got a $4.99 sticker on it. So when I took it to the counter, they said, oh, it's $4.99. I said, well, your sticker says $4.99 on the other copy. And now they said it rung through at $4.99. So I'm not going to argue the toss with them on that one. Otherwise, I'd have bought something which I didn't really want. So yeah, another $4.99 on that one. And then finally, my obsession with the Legend of Zelda continues with Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Now this is a game that passed me by on the GameCube and is now so expensive on the GameCube that I'm never going to own a copy of it. So I thought I'd buy the next best thing, which is the HD version on the Wii U. I had a friend of mine who played this, and he says he spent so much time sort of just spending, going, you know, not driving around, sailing around the oceans, fishing. He has more time doing that. Now that was $14.99, knocked down to $7.98, which I think is a good price. It's about 12-14 quid in CX at the moment, so it's not a huge saving. And again, on some, I think that's 6 in HMV CEX. That I think goes through at about 8, and I think that's about 8 as well. So probably saved about 10 to 15 quid there on buying them from CEX. But so 4 more games for the Wii U, which will go onto my pile of Wii U games. And I've sort of now made a promise to myself that I shan't buy any more Wii U games unless I see them either ridiculously stupid prices or I pick them up in charity shops, which I think is probably unlikely to happen. But you never know, because if you saw my last video, you'll know all about Call of Duty and what we had from that. So that's this week's pickups, probably around about, I think roughly speaking, something in the region of 35 quid spent. But like I said, I did get a £20 bonus from a late Christmas present, so about 16 games for 15 quid, which is around about what I usually spend. So not bad at all, not bad at all really. I think probably a bit less than that, but that's what it works out. If you're talking 16 games of 30, it's still £2 a game. I mean, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. So yeah, so I think what I'm going to do over the next few weeks is just sort of try and focus on probably picking up Wii stuff, which will probably never happen because I'll just pick up whatever I see. It's like somebody asked me the other day, what games do you sort of go out and look to buy? And I don't. I just go and see what I can see, and if I can find something I haven't got, or something which is simply far too good to pass up the opportunity to not get, I will get it, providing it's the right price. Yeah, so as you can see, new angle. Some up here is some of the stuff I was sort of trying to sort of keep, not secret, that's probably the wrong word, but I was going to reveal at a later date. But as you can see, there's some PlayStation 1 stuff here. Where are we? Up in the corner, which you can't see there. That's where the N64 stuff lives. I've already done a video on that one. You can go back and look at it. There's some box N64. There's some Saturn stuff there. Retro Dude, if you're watching, I know you've been doing Saturn stuff and trying to convince me that the Saturn is worth my time. That's my small bundle of games up there. If you can zoom in closely enough, you probably won't be able to do so. You'll see what I've got. Not a great deal. Next to that, some Super Nintendo stuff and some box Super Nintendo stuff, and then stuff up here you can't see. And also, very, very far at the top, out the way, which is up there. Oh dear. It's like Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Follow the finger. There's an old reference for you. Yeah, up the top corner, PlayStation 3 out the way. And I got all the stuff. The Amiga stuff is up there. You've seen the Amiga video as well. And there's some other bits and pieces you haven't seen, which at some point will be shown for all to see. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I'm just going to look around and see if there's anything else been going on. No, there isn't. I'm rambling, which probably means I've run out of things to say. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Anything good there? Anything of interest to you? Anything that you could sort of say that's really good? That's a load of rubbish. Why do you buy that for? Would it be nice to see you play some of these games occasionally? Yes, it would do, but I just haven't got the time at the moment to sort of sit there and do that. I'm trying to find a way of getting some of the HD stuff uploaded onto the computer and try and stream through there. The problem at the moment is the software I'm using, which is OBS. For those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, there seems to be a little bit of a delay between the reaction of the joypad and if I plug it straight into the computer. I've got a capture device which will run through. There seems to be a slight delay, which doesn't make game playing very easy. And I've tried it before going through the television and then straight into the computer. And that's great, but I can't get any sound, which is really, really stupid, because I try to play 007 Quantum of Solace without the sound on, which is impossible, because you can hear people sort of shouting and where they are, and I'm sort of trying to find out where they are with the zapper, and absolutely useless. So I recorded like a 25-minute video of me basically sort of failing. I thought, well, that's not really worth posting online at all, is it? So yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying, but it's a tricky one. So yeah, so like I said, let me know what you think, and if there's anything that you want to say, by all means free to do so. If you are a new viewer, subscribe, like. If you're already an existing viewer, don't forget to tick that bell, because you won't know when I post a new video, which is probably usually once a week at the moment. A little bit longer if I'm a bit busy, which is what we've had on this one. And try and get some more stuff up as best I can. But do appreciate you all tuning in. Subscription numbers have gone up since the 51 Boxing Day subscriber issue, which is good. Trying to get towards the magic 100, which will always be nice to do that, and that would have probably taken me less than 12 months, which is a bit of an achievement, because really all I am is somebody who is just trying to share my hobby with the rest of the world, and those of you who regularly tune in and comment and we converse. It's always good to hear from you, and it's always nice to see new people subscribing and those people who do take an interest. So yeah, always beneficial, keeps me going. It's nice to go out and pick this up at the weekend and now I can come and share it with you guys out there. Anyway, that's it then. So I shall shut up and move on and let you get on with the rest of your life. Go and have a cup of tea, have a sit down and go and watch something else. And yeah, there we go. So I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Do take care of what you're doing. Enjoy your gaming, and I'm sure we'll see each other very, very soon. Bye for now.